Hi and welcome to a new video. Here with me, I'm Kine Lovise for those of you who do not know me. And today I thought I would show you the books and tell you about the books that I read during February and March. For February, I only read 2 books, so I thought I would just make these 2 videos one. So this is a wrap up for both February and March, as I said. Four of them I did listen to on Storytel, so I won't have. Well, one of them I actually do have the physical copy of as well, but 3 of them I won't have the physical copy of, so I just will put in a picture here. But enough of me rambling. So in February I continued reading the Shatter Me series. I started this series in January, as if you watched the last video you would have known. The Unite Me book is like 2 novellas, so it's really thin compared, which takes you through 2 other views from like the 2 first books. This helped a lot. I wasn't like really in love with the 2 first books, but this one it helped. It made so much sense, and I really liked the Ignite Me book a lot more than the 2 first books, but I think I also liked it a lot more because I had read this first. So these are in the Shatter Me series by Tahera Mafi. It is a dystopian series. Ignite Me is the last book in the series that I have read. There are 4 more books, including the double up novella, the other double up novella. So there are 3 more books and 2 novellas. But I really like this. I read somewhere that it was kind of supposed to be a trilogy ending with this one, and although the book really opens up for continuation, I did really get that, and I have struggled to continue with the series, but I think I just needed a change of pace, so I'll probably finish this series later. But yeah, I really like this book. I get what they're talking about. Yes please. Next I did a Storytel read. I listened to Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and this book, there is a reason why this is such a staple. I really love this book. I think that if everyone had a dad like Mr. Finch, just teaching his kids understanding and respect and all the things that he teaches his kids, the world would be a better place. So I really do recommend this book. I kind of wish it was like mandatory reading in a way that would make people actually get the points, because when you're forced to read something, it doesn't always like settle the right way. But this book is so great. I do have one of the few reviews that I actually wrote on Goodreads. So if you want to keep up with the books that I read like in real time, you can just follow me on Goodreads. I'll put the link in the the description box below. The review I wrote was, well, if everyone had a dad like Mr. Finch, I'm sure the world would be a better place. I couldn't keep track of all the good points this book made, and I've never heard them made in such marvelous ways. Everything hits different, coming from such a young girl. Even the things she didn't quite understand, and especially the things she understood too well. I cried, I laughed, and I wanted to punch someone, and I will forever recommend this book to everyone. And I still stand by that. This book I will recommend to everyone. It's a classic for a reason. Then over to something very different. I actually read the part 1 of the 12 Portals volume 1 of The Witch. This gives me such throwbacks. These were like graphic novels when I was younger, which I loved. We used to play the witches in like the recess of school when we were really young, and I was Cornelia. She can like manipulate earth, and so I was like making these big holes in the ground, or like yeah, rifts. So this was really a throwback. Just the thought of 12-year-olds, I think they're 12, being set out to save the world is crazy to me now, of course. But when I was younger, when I was like 8, 10, didn't blink an eye. Did not blink an eye. Of course we could save the world. I really like this, so I am gonna buy more of them. So these will be like my little fun reads from now and then. So, and I used to like draw these. Oh, I really love that. That was a throwback. Then I finished Grit, Why Passion and Resilience Are the Secrets to Success by Angela Duckworth. I don't think I have read a book this last couple of months that I did not love, like really like. This made so much sense to me. It kind of is about how talent alone will never get you to the big, really great places. How you have to have grit. Like, that is the common thing that really makes people not only dream but reach their goals, like actually live their dream. So this was a great reminder, and I really went through this, like making some actually in my, like writing in my books, which I don't usually do. I think this is gonna be a new thing. So yeah, I do really recommend. So in this must read for anyone seeking to succeed, pioneering psychologist Angela Duckworth takes us on an eye-opening journey to discover the true qualities that lead to outstanding achievement. Winning personal, insightful and powerful, winningly personal. Grit is a book about what goes through your head when you fall down and how that, not talent or luck, makes all the difference. I won't reach my goals because I am lucky. I will reach my goals because I worked for them. That is kind of like the main thing of this book. Absolutely do recommend. It is based on real like research, so it's not just I believe this is true. It is researched, and she never makes an outright statement without backing up with research or telling you that I don't have enough research to say something is hard facts, but this is what I believe. So she's really good at like distinctly clarifying that, which I really like, and I know a lot of others also is about, so I really can heartily recommend this book. Then I listened to a book on Storytel, which Good Habits, Bad Habits, The Science of Making Positive Changes That Stick by Wendy Wood. I really like this book. It didn't tell me a lot of new things, as I have read a lot of books on habits already, but I did really like it. So it says here that Wendy Wood is the world's foremost expert in the field, and this book is essential, said by the author of Grit. What if you could harness the extraordinary power of your unconscious mind, which already determines so much of what you do to achieve your goals? Shockingly, we spend nearly half our day repeating things we've done in the past without thinking about them. How we respond to the people around us, the way we conduct ourselves in meetings, what we buy and when, and how we exercise, eat and drink. A truly remarkable number of things we do every day, we do by habit. So she takes us through all the things that we do by habit, how hard it is to change, how you can change, and which changes would actually help. And that we have habits that do good, and then we have habits that doesn't exactly help us. I think it's a really good book for a lot of people. I think that is a better beginner book for habits than many of the other books that I have read. So yeah, I really like that one. as I said, I did really like most of the books I read. Then I read You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. This is not a book like Grit. I venture into both the categories. I really like both categories. I don't think that research is everything, although I really love research because I like when things are proven. But You Are a Badass is based on experience, on life, on all the things that she has been through, all the things she's learned, all the people she has met, all the books she's read. I absolutely recommend this for a book for anyone who isn't strictly research based, because I really do believe in the things that she says, and although everything is not necessarily my cup of tea, I think the book in itself is so good. She says things in a very good way, and I think this will be a very good fit for a lot of people. You Are a Badass is the self-help book for people who desperately want to improve their lives but don't want to get busted doing it. In this refreshingly entertaining how-to guide, best-selling author and world-traveling success coach Jen Sincero serves up 27 bite-sized chapters full of hilariously inspiring stories, sage advice and easy experiences, helping you to identify and change the self-sabotaging beliefs and behaviors that stop you from getting what you want, to create a life you totally love and create it now, and to make some damn money already, the kind you've never made before. Everything is not my cup of tea, but the story, like the content, is... I highly recommend this book. She also has the You Are Badass Making Money, which I read a couple of years ago. I really like that as well. Then I have another storytell read, which is A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. I believe that a lot of people have read this book, so he's like, I can just tell you what it says. Psychiatrist Viktor Frankl's memoir has riveted generations of readers with its description of life in Nazi death camps and its lessons for spiritual survival. Based on his own experience and the stories of his patients, Frankl argues that we cannot avoid suffering, but we can choose how to cope with it, find meaning in it, and move forward with renewed purpose. At the heart of his theory, known as logotherapy, is a conviction that the primary human drive is not pleasure, but the pursuit of what we find meaningful. Man's Search for Meaning has become one of the most influential books in America. It continues to inspire us all to find significance in the very act of living. So, this book really has some trigger warnings. Some of the depictions are truly horrible, of course. He isn't as graphic as he absolutely could have been, but he is graphic enough that this book was heartbreaking, but it has to be to tell the story he's telling. Again, this was such a good read. I absolutely have faith in the logotherapy stand of his. Everything is easier if you see a reason for why you have to endure it. It is my opinion, at least. Of course, there's a lot of things I wished I wouldn't have to go through, but when I see that, well, even if I wish that hadn't happened to me, I am stronger because of it, so I can handle it. And I think that's like the basis of his theory. If you're into that kind of stuff and can cope with the triggers in this book, I really recommend this book as well. If I don't believe in a book, I usually don't start it, and I'm usually right. So then over to something very different. I read a book called Plantelykke, which translates to Plant Happiness, by Anders Reinberg. This is a Norwegian book by a Norwegian influencer. So His Instagram handle is Arctic Gardener. So here I've just flagged like the descriptions for the books that I own, but he gives like a lot of tips on how to choose the best plants for you, how to replant, how to take off and make new plants from your plants, and how to treat them in the back. There's not a lot much else to say about it. If you're into plants, as I have become, I recommend this. But if you're not into plants, this will give you nothing. But then I have begun a reread of the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. I read this 4 years ago. Felt like picking it up again. I'm almost done with the second book now, but I read Red Queen in March. I can read. First of all, you all know I like it because I decided to read it again. The first time I read these books, I finished them like each book in a day because I couldn't put them down, which ended up in me not beginning the next book until like the next weekend because I was scared I wouldn't go to bed and then get up for class the next day. Of course, now that I know what's happening, it's much easier to put it down, but it's going fast. But yeah, this is a world divided by blood, red and silver. And this is a fantasy book. The Reds are commoners ruled by a silver elite in possession of godlike superpowers. And to 17-year-old Mare, a red girl from the poverty-stricken stilts, it seems like nothing will ever change. But Mare possesses a deadly talent of her own, one that threatens to destroy the balance of power. Fearful of her potential, the Silvers hide Mare in plain view, declaring her a long-lost Silver Princess. Knowing that one false move will mean her death, Mare must use her new position to bring down the regime from the inside. Now Mare has entered a game of betrayal and lies. This is Reds against Silvers, Prince against Prince, and Mare against her own heart. Red Queen is a clever blend of The Hunger Games, The Selection, Graceling, and Divergent. And kind of X-Men as well, but that gets a lot clearer in the next book. I really like this. This is YA fantasy. The only thing that irritates me with YA fantasy is that damn, does the main like protagonist often irritate the freaking life out of me. Because some of the faults you like can see from miles ahead. Like what Victoria Aveyard does is she just choop, and you have no idea what happened. Even the second time around I'm like, fuck, where did, oh yeah, that's right, that was supposed, but she is good. I really like this. It is enemies to lovers, for those who love that. Really recommend, of course. These are 4-book series. I remember that I was really mad at how the last book ended. Like I needed another chapter. That is the only thing I remember of how it ends. So I'm kind of scared, but I'll put that in there afterwards. Then to the last book that I listened to, and the last book I read this month, or in March, because it's April now. I ranged out a little this month. I actually did a couple of memoirs, so like the Viktor Frankl memoir. This one is quite different from that one. This is Betsy Phillips memoir. This will only hurt a little. This one. This was rough. A lot of like the first half at least I really felt deeply, and yeah, it was hard. I laughed, I cried. She is really good at telling the stories. Like it sounds like she's gossiping kind of. So she's very like, so like this happened and then she says and then he goes, but she does it in such a good way, I think. So I really like this memoir. Just the story of how it is in that business, or how it is just being a girl and a woman, and I really like this book. I can just read a bit of it here. A hilarious, heartfelt, and refreshingly honest memoir, a New York Times bestseller by the beloved comedic actress known for roles on Freaks and Geeks, Dawson Creek, and Cougar Town, who has become the breakout star of Instagram stories. So there's no stopping Betsy Phillips. From the time she was 2 and aced out in her nudes to explore the neighborhood, as her mom famously described her toddler jailbreak, Betsy has always been headstrong, defiant, and determined not to miss out on all the fun. These qualities led her to leave Scottsdale, Arizona at the age of 19 to pursue her passion of acting in Hollywood. But much like her painful and painfully funny teenage years, chasing her dreams wasn't always easy, and sometimes hurt more than a little. In a memoir that often reads like a real-world confessional or an open diary, Betsy opens up about chafing against a sexist system rife with on-set bullying and body shaming, being there when friends face shattering loss, enduring devastating personal and professional betrayals from those she loved best, and struggling with postpartum anxiety and the challenges of motherhood. And it continues. I felt so much listening to this book. If you're into memoirs or that kind of stuff, I really recommend her memoir. So those were the books that I read in March and February. Those were, how many? That was 11. Which means 2 in February and 9 in March. That is another month with a lot of reading. Those were, as I said, the books that I read, and I can definitely recommend all of them. I would like to preface that they are opinions. Some people like and hate the same book, and it's okay. We can disagree. It has to be just that. I won't start an outright war because I like a book that you don't. I think that was all I wanted to say this time. Now I will probably go out and enjoy the sun for the last 2.5 days of vacation. Have a good day. I don't know when I'll be posting this, but hopefully you have a good day, and I'll see you soon, I think. If you can, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would really help. And yeah, I think that was all. Bye.